My name is Alicia Shapiro with AInews.com, and welcome to another episode of our Driving Tomorrow Conversations with Industry Leaders, where we explore the latest developments and newest innovations in the world of artificial intelligence. Today, I'm excited to be speaking with Sam Mallikarjunan, the General Manager of Agent.ai, a groundbreaking platform revolutionizing the way we interact with artificial intelligence. With the vision to make AI accessible and impactful for everyone, Agent AI has created a professional network that connects users to over 165 specialized AI agents designed to enhance productivity, creativity, and problem solving. Under Sam's leadership, Agent AI has grown to include a thriving builder network of over 7,300 contributors, fostering innovation and collaboration in the rapidly evolving AI space. In today's interview, we'll explore how Agent AI is empowering users to get stuff done, the unique opportunities it offers for AI builders, and Sam's insight into the future of AI agent networks. So, thank you for joining us today, Sam.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad to have you here. I'm really looking forward to our chat. Agent AI has created a unique professional network for AI agents. And for our audience, can you just explain what Agent AI is, how it works, and maybe some of the key benefits it offers to users and builders alike?
Yes, the key focus for us is, again, democratizing access to both build, customize, discover, and use AI agents.
Mm.
So there are great companies like HubSpot and Microsoft that are working on kind of the enterprise applications. Highly technical people are building things that are used at scale throughout organizations. Agent.ai is much more about, can we get tens of thousands of people building AI agents that
Oh.
are then used by millions of different types of users who can then even customize it for themselves. So
Hmm.
there's kind of two ways we're tackling this. One is make it much easier to build an AI agent. So the AI agent builder will look familiar to people who are used to using workflow tools. You can say, so I built one that looks at my Google Calendar and then looks up information about all the people I'm meeting that day and
Oh,
generates an audio overview for me. So go for my
nice.
morning walk, gives me all of that. And then on the user side, there's so many of these AI agents, and there's going to be exponentially more.
Mm.
So our AI's job is to get to know you really well and your job and your company, competitors, style. And then based on what you're trying to do, it will help you choose what agents to use, in what order to do what you're trying to do, and feed
Oh,
those agents the appropriate information. So how can we make it so that, and it's not all just professional. Somebody built a cool Dungeons and Dragons one. I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons player, but they were very excited about it, which is great. It's like the early days of the Google Play Store
yeah.
where you were chatting in forums with all the developers, and I would see all the new apps every day, and nobody really knew what people were going to value. So that's the goal. Can we take what the app stores and stuff did for apps on a mobile device? It's a lot more complicated though, because the apps don't have to interact with each other like we're having to do.
That's really innovative. I was looking at the website and it was just fascinating to me because I wanted to build an AI agent to help me with my news writing articles and to maybe simplify the process and have it do some work while I'm sleeping, even. And it's a lot harder than I thought it was because I'm not a developer. And I was just trying to have ChatGPT give me all the steps. And I'm just like, you know what? I found your website. I'm going to see if I can find one.
That's the old adage, right? It's easy to make things powerful. It's hard to make powerful things easy to use.
Yeah.
And that's our main focus. If you need advanced enterprise functionality, like again, plenty of people working on that kind of stuff. But
Mm.
if you want to have something that reads the news for you, and so you wake up in the morning, it doesn't just tell you the Fed cut interest rates, but it knows you're a pay-per-click marketer, and it tells you the Fed cut interest rates, and here's what that means for your life as a PPC marketer. That's the kind of stuff that people are going to build on Agent.ai.
Oh, yeah. That would be fabulous. But you envision AI agent building as becoming common as web app development, like we were just talking about. What challenges do you think current builders face, and how is Agent AI working to lower the barriers to entry?
Yeah, so I would love to see it become as common as workflow tools. So if you
Okay.
can create a workflow to send emails or do data management, all the stuff that mere mortal professionals are used to doing, you should be
Yeah.
able to build agents or customize agents that somebody else has built. The approach there, one is cost. So Agent.ai is free for a reason. And people don't necessarily know what they want to build. They don't know what value it's going to bring. And
Yeah.
that's a barrier to adoption with AI agents because you're not going to necessarily pay for stuff. You don't really know what it's good for. Making it free and then focusing on making it easy to use. It's not like you can do things like Zapier is beautiful. It's got all these like bajillion different connectors and stuff that you can do. But the
Yeah.
biggest problem people have right now is the blank canvas problem. So
Oh,
like the early days of computers in general, the people building this stuff, very smart people, but they don't necessarily live the same lives as the rest of the people who are going to have to use it, right?
yeah.
What's that quote from the IBM CEO back in the day that he thought there was a world market for 5 or 6 computers?
Oh,
uh,
wow.
because it seemed like such a niche technical thing. It's the same thing here where it's hard to necessarily understand what does this change for you and what can you do now that you can have these like micro intelligences that are really good at performing specific tasks and they can go
Yeah.
actually take actions on your behalf. So I think that's the biggest challenge and opportunity because
Hmm.
no one is, by definition, no one's saturated the market with what AI agents should be used for, other than things like writing sales emails. And because we're still bridging that gap between the nerds that I love who are
Hmm.
building, the computer scientists who are building AI, and the average everyday users who have to like wake up and do work.
Yeah, that's great. And you've talked about how AI agents can help people focus more on human work. Can you share a story or example of how maybe one of your AI agents has transformed the way a user works?
Yeah. Two good stories. One, I think that most people are taking a very lazy and narrow-minded approach to the impact that AI agents can have. For example, let's say you build an AI agent that helps live chat reps go from having 3 concurrent conversations, because that's how much their mind can handle, but you enrich it and you make it so that they can handle 30. You
Yeah.
could say, cool, now I only need 1/10 the number of live chat reps, which is what most people are saying right now. Or you could say, great, now each individual chat rep can have 10 times the amount of interaction, human interaction with an individual customer. They can spend more time thinking about understanding their industry, get more context about their business, understand that user's history, and not be fighting the clock like we have been historically. So,
Yeah,
one, I think that the efficiency aspect is very narrow-minded, and I think those people are going to lose to people who create a better experience using
for
generative
sure.
AI combined with human intelligence. But my favorite story for this, in terms of communication, I had a friend a couple weeks ago who he was texting me, and unless you tell AI to adopt a voice, I can usually tell it's AI. Just
Mhm.
interact with it a lot. And I asked him, like, are you using AI to write your text messages to me? And he has some communication issues and learning disabilities. And he said, yes, he is. Usually he'd send me like 5,000 words and I'd have to parse through what he's trying to say.
Oh,
And now
wow. Yeah.
he's using AI to say, here's what I'm trying to say. Here's who I'm trying to say it to. Can you make it more concise, more effective, clearer to Sam that I'm trying to communicate with? And that was a really cool moment where you can use AI to be like mediocre at scale,
Mm.
basically all of LinkedIn right now. Or you can use AI to say, how can I be more conscientious and more concerned about the time of the people that I'm using and how I'm saying things?
I love that example because that I imagine would help many people. That's awesome. And as I mentioned before, Agent AI brings together over 7,300 builders and 165 AI agents. What's one agent that surprised you with its popularity or use case? And why do you think that resonated so well with users?
The one that has surprised, other than the very niche use cases like Dungeons and Dragons stuff, the one
Mm.
that surprised me most has been the meme generator, image generation ones, because that
Oh,
doesn't seem like that would be that interesting, right? There's been meme
yeah.
generators for a really long time, but what made it unique is that it's going out and fetching the mood of the internet. It's looking at social media, it's finding new
Oh,
trends, and then the AI generation is getting really good to the point where it can actually create the kind of content that you're looking for. It's not just putting words over an image that you grabbed from a movie. That wasn't exactly the earth-shattering one that I thought, but it was really popular. And then the other one that was really surprising, especially because the people who built it were incredibly non-technical, need me to help them with their website level non-technical. A local pub that near me built a AI agent where they feed it all the liquor and food and stuff they want to get rid of, and it generates recipes and even names them.
oh,
So
wow.
this, yeah, it's like Irish pub that can't generate QR codes so people can download their menus is doing Amazon level logistics turnover optimization because it's such a natural kind of like interface. So like that kind of stuff is what really excites me is the fact that the universe people who have been locked out of technology, it really hasn't created that much value to them, are able to do stuff that's it's pretty mind blowing.
That is cool. I like that idea. And the variety of AI agents on your website is super impressive. It ranges from company research to image generation and more, like you were talking about. But how do you decide which agents get to be featured or prioritized for development?
Yeah, so we let the community decide what they're going to develop. The agents that are on there right now is actually a very small subset of the ones people are building. When you build an agent, you can choose to either keep it private for yourself, which most people choose to do. You can
Okay.
make it public for the general good, or next year we'll launch the ability to monetize agents just like you can with mobile apps. You can
Oh,
charge a
nice.
fee or whatever you want to do. So there's going to be, again, in the tens of thousands of agents. We're launching the builder out of beta next month, and
Okay.
we already have 10,000 people signed up for the builder beta. And if 1,000 of those people each build two agents that are pretty interesting and useful, there's going to be a lot of stuff on there. In terms of determining what we feature, right now, it has a very directory-like feel and experience.
Mhm.
That is going to break quickly. Again, I talk about the early days of the App Store and such, where I could look at every day every new app that was built. That's where AI agents are right now. Agent.ai is in the next 6 months, that's going to become untenable. People are going to need that discovery AI. And that's what
Yeah.
we're going to focus on is like, how do we build that AI where you say, I'm the host of an AI newscast and I need you to every day go find all the best snippets and find people for me to talk to and then explain to me why I should talk to them. And then Agent.ai's own interface is going to shift from being this kind of directory-like experience to be a much
Mhm.
simpler one that's just trying to understand you and what you're trying to accomplish and then go find the agents for you.
That is amazing.
It'll be a lot of fun.
The future is already here.
Much sooner than I thought. Somewhere on the internet, there's a video of me from 3 or 4 years ago saying that we're like 9 Nobel Prizes away from where we are today. But when they cracked that transformer, the paper that Google published back in 2019, that really launched all of this, it's been it's been really amazing. We can do stuff with computers now that's far more useful than we've been able to do in the past, where you had to build a tool. Like somebody made a
Mhm.
tool, you bought the tool, you used the tool in the tooly way. Now the tools are like what separates a tool from an actual colleague, right? Like that's when we say
Mhm.
you're hiring an agent, you're building a team. The reason is that they actually have this kind of agency from like the not philosophical, but the literal sense of they can take actions on your behalf. And I think that is really fascinating and really extending our capabilities. So
Yeah.
if I need to write code, I don't have to bother the engineering team, as long as it can be mediocre code. AI is very good at being
Right.
mediocre at a lot of things. But when our head of engineering needs to understand some nuance of like history or economics or something like that, conversely, they don't have to bother me. So we all have our specialization still, but now
Mhm.
this amazing like future of where we also all have access to an average level of other skills. Like sales reps
Yeah.
can design decks without bothering the marketing team and do advanced data analysis without bothering the RevOps team. That's going to be a really interesting future.
Yeah. And how do you see the AI networks and agents specifically getting to that point in the next 5 years? And what excites you most about that?
What excites me most is the fact that we don't end up with walled gardens. So
Yeah.
when this first happened, my theory was that we were going to go from having millions of websites to having hundreds or maybe just a couple thousand very large AI agents that were going to own everything.
Okay.
And it would really stifle innovation and entrepreneurship. It's what we're very focused on doing. It's why it's not just going to be Facebook is your social AI and Amazon's your shopping AI. I actually think because prices have gone down so much and performance has gone up so much, you're going to end up with, I think, the opposite effect, where you're going to have
Okay.
millions of smaller businesses who can compete more effectively. Because if you're launching a startup, you're not at a disadvantage just because you don't have a big marketing team or a big engineering
Hmm.
team or a big design team or whatever, because you have access to level the playing field. That's what really excites me is the fact that a year ago, I was pessimistic about the impact of AI on entrepreneurship. But as long
Yeah.
as we keep this open ecosystem, we make it accessible, we make it affordable, and we make it approachable so that people can actually understand it and wrap their heads around it, then I think that Google got sucker punched by a nonprofit research organization. Like that, they're big now, right? OpenAI is raising tons of money, et cetera. If Google can get sucker punched, then whoever the 800-pound
Yeah.
gorilla in your industry is probably more fightable than maybe you had previously thought. And I think that's exciting.
Yeah, that is interesting to think about. And before we wrap up, I'd like to ask a couple lighter questions so our audience can get to know you a little better. When you do step away from your work, what are some activities or hobbies that are you passionate about?
So I'm really trying to get good at chess. Ironically, I'm trying to do two things that there's no purpose for in a world with AI. So chess can play better than we ever can. but it
Mhm.
forces me to think and slow down. And I'm really trying to do that. And then the other thing I'm trying to do is become more fluent in Spanish and some other languages.
Okay.
Again, not necessary because most people don't realize this. The transformers that build all this stuff, the T and GPT, were actually built for translation. It just turns out that if you understand the context of words for translation, you can understand the context of words for doing work for people. The universal translator from Star Trek is in the near future, but I still enjoy that process of trying to understand a culture through its language. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm studying Spanish on Duolingo, trying to play more chess, and then help me. I've started running, and it's not like my favorite thing. And plus, I live in Florida, so like I have to do it now, otherwise it gets really hot. But yeah,
Yeah.
chess, Spanish, running, and then hanging out with my family.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And finally, for aspiring builders looking to create maybe their first AI agent, what's the most important piece of advice you would give them to help them to succeed in this growing space?
The most important advice I would give is to stop worrying or even thinking about whether or not what you want to do is possible. The odds are that whatever it is you have in mind, if it's not possible already, it will be soon. And the fundamentals of what you need probably already exist. They just haven't been put together in the right combination based on what you want to do. A lot of people go and they look at whatever AI tools that they might be using, and because it doesn't already do the things that they want it to be able to do, they just walk away. That is not what you have to do, because with a little bit of effort, with a little bit of tinkering, you can create some really amazing things, but it may not be something anybody's ever thought before, or it might be a solved problem from something else. So like Dharmesh, who founded Agent.ai, built a, a clone of himself, right? That
Oh,
answers questions the way that he would answer questions. And somebody else took that and turned it into a clone of their boss so that they could give presentation. They could just feed it a bunch of information and it would just tell their boss like the things that their boss would actually be interested in. So a lot of things can be retooled in ways that just because it doesn't already exist doesn't mean it's not possible.
I love that advice. Also, because I figure if I have a question or if I have a need about something, more people probably have the same feeling. And so why not build it and be able to make some money off of it, possibly?
Yeah,
That's,
that's why I love that people are making them public, because you can take an agent somebody else has built, and as long as they make it public, you can then customize it. So if somebody builds
yeah.
a news summarization agent, and you want to make it for a newscast host versus somebody else wants to make one for financial services planner, they don't have to redo all that work. You can take something, you can really customize it for yourself, which is that citizen developer kind of community and mentality. We're all not hoarding the information, we're sharing it with each other, and that's making everybody's lives better. I think that's really fun and
Yeah,
exciting.
it is. I can't wait. Even in just the next couple of years, I think we're going to see dramatic increases in capabilities and things. So it's very exciting to see what's going to happen.
We live in interesting times.
Yep. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us today and sharing your insights. It's been a real pleasure talking with you and learning more about the work that you do at Agent.ai. And for those who might want to look into it, you can simply visit their website, Agent.ai. Keeping you connected to tomorrow. Today, this is Alicia with AInews.com.